Joe Biden entered the White House at a time of deep political division and unprecedented challenges. His presidency has been marked by major domestic and international developments, shaping his legacy in complex ways. As he enters the pivotal year of 2025, questions loom about how history will remember him. Will he secure his place as a transformational leader, or will his presidency be defined by unfinished promises? Let us explore the key factors that could define Biden's legacy. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more insightful analyses of politics and leadership. 1. Navigating economic recovery. Biden's presidency began amid the aftershocks of the COVID-19 pandemic, with economic recovery a top priority. His administration implemented large-scale stimulus packages to stabilize the economy and support struggling families. By 2025, the question remains whether these measures have led to sustained growth or mounting debt. Inflation and labor market challenges persist as significant concerns. Biden's push for infrastructure investment was a historic move, but its long-term impact is still unfolding. As global markets shift, his economic policies will be scrutinized for their resilience. If he can maintain economic stability, his legacy as a steady hand during turbulence may solidify. 2. Climate change and renewable energy. Climate change has been a cornerstone of Biden's agenda, with ambitious goals to cut emissions and transition to renewable energy. The Inflation Reduction Act was a key legislative achievement, funding green initiatives and fostering clean energy innovation. However, by 2025, the results of these efforts are still emerging. Critics argue that progress has been slow, particularly in reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Internationally, Biden has pushed for cooperation on climate issues, but global conflicts have often overshadowed these priorities. Cementing his legacy in this arena will depend on measurable environmental gains and successful partnerships. 3. Restoring global alliances. When Biden took office, he promised to rebuild strained alliances and restore America's leadership on the global stage. By 2025, his efforts to strengthen NATO, address China's growing influence, and manage relations with Russia remain critical. The withdrawal from Afghanistan cast a shadow on his foreign policy, leading to debates about America's global strategy. However, his administration's support for Ukraine during the Russian invasion demonstrated a commitment to defending democracy abroad. If Biden can navigate ongoing geopolitical challenges, his legacy may be one of cautious but effective diplomacy. 4. Healthcare reform and affordability. Healthcare has long been a contentious issue in American politics, and Biden aimed to expand access and affordability. His administration strengthened the Affordable Care Act and implemented measures to lower prescription drug costs. By 2025, healthcare reform remains a work in progress, with many Americans still facing high medical expenses. Public demand for universal healthcare continues to grow, challenging Biden's incremental approach. His ability to bridge the gap between affordability and accessibility will be a defining factor in his presidency. Success in this arena could enshrine him as a champion of public health. By 2025, healthcare reform remains a work in progress. With notable achievements but persistent gaps, millions still face exorbitant medical expenses, making healthcare a burden rather than a safety net. Public demand for a more comprehensive system, such as universal healthcare, continues to grow, reflecting dissatisfaction with incremental approaches. Critics argue that while Biden has taken steps forward, they fall short of the sweeping changes needed to address deep systemic issues. Rising costs, disparities in care, and lack of access for underserved communities remain critical challenges. 5. Addressing social justice issues. Biden entered office amidst nationwide protests over racial inequality and police brutality. His administration has worked to address these issues through criminal justice reform and investments in underserved communities. Programs aimed at narrowing the wealth gap and improving educational opportunities for marginalized groups have been key initiatives. However, progress has been uneven, with critics arguing that deeper systemic changes are needed. By 2025, Biden's actions on voting rights and equity are being closely evaluated. His legacy in social justice will hinge on whether his efforts lead to lasting, meaningful change. 6. Immigration and border challenges. Immigration policy has been a persistent challenge for Biden, with border security and asylum processes at the forefront. His administration reversed several controversial policies from the previous administration, emphasizing humane treatment and comprehensive reform. Yet, by 2025, illegal border crossings and overwhelmed immigration systems remain pressing concerns. Efforts to pass bipartisan immigration reform have faced significant resistance in Congress. The balance between enforcement and compassion is delicate, and Biden's ability to find a sustainable solution will impact how his presidency is remembered. 7. Technological innovation and regulation. As technology reshapes the world, Biden has focused on fostering innovation while addressing concerns about privacy and cybersecurity. Investments in semiconductor manufacturing and digital infrastructure are steps towards strengthening America's tech leadership. At the same time, his administration has pursued regulation of big tech companies to prevent monopolistic practices and safeguard consumer data. By 2025, the effectiveness of these policies is becoming clearer. Striking a balance between innovation and oversight will be crucial in defining Biden's impact on the tech landscape. 8. Bridging political divides. Biden campaigned on a promise of unity, seeking to heal a polarized nation. By 2025, the political divide remains stark, with partisan tensions often dominating the national discourse. His administration has attempted bipartisan outreach, but deep divisions in Congress have hindered significant progress. Critics argue that Biden's leadership has not fully addressed the root causes of polarization. However, his efforts to maintain democratic norms and institutions are notable. Whether he can foster meaningful dialogue and cooperation across party lines will be a critical measure of his presidency. 9. Education and workforce development. Biden has emphasized education as a pathway to economic mobility, advocating for universal prep school and free community college. Investments in job training and workforce development aim to prepare Americans for the demands of a changing economy. By 2025, the outcomes of these programs are shaping public opinion. Critics highlight persistent student debt issues and disparities in educational access. If Biden can implement reforms that address these challenges and equip future generations for success, his legacy in education could be transformative. 10. Defining the Biden legacy. By 2025, the question of Biden's legacy remains central to discussions about his presidency. His tenure has been marked by significant achievements, from pandemic recovery to infrastructure investment. However, ongoing challenges in healthcare, immigration, and political polarization cast a long shadow. Whether Biden's leadership is seen as transformative or transitional will depend on the long-term effects of his policies. If he can navigate the complexities of governance while fostering progress, he may secure his place among impactful presidents. The story of his presidency is still being written. Joe Biden's legacy is shaped by bold ambitions and complex challenges. How do you think history will remember him? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into political history and leadership.